Previously on Lost.
Greetings, Ron Smilik.
And Fellonius the Wizard, and we are back with Previously on Lost. This time we have watched 3 episodes called Numbers, Deus Ex Machina, I haven't checked the translation on that, and Do No Harm. But you have some comments to go through, haven't you, Ron?
Yes, so these are comments that were left on our YouTube channels from prior episodes. We are recording in advance, so hopefully we're just keeping you the audience, engaged retroactively.
Yeah.
I have a couple comments from Granny's Got Game, a fellow Minecrafter. She was talking about one of the first things that she would do is walk the perimeter of the island.
Yep.
Which is what we said he would do.
Yep.
But I felt the need to amend my statement there.
Okay.
So my suggestion would be for 2 people to split up in opposite directions to walk the perimeter and meet in the middle.
Okay.
Unless you come across a fresh water source, and then you would stop and come back and start, people moving towards the water, and then resume going around the island.
Okay. Now, I would have a little bit, 2 persons is okay, but I would rather have them to follow each other. Because if something happens to one of them, the other one can get away. And in our case, you and I, if it was you and me who were doing that, we would not get away, either of us, because we are not that quick.
I wouldn't even get out of sight of the beach, and then I'd fall down in exhaustion.
Exactly, same here. So it shouldn't be you and me, but me and some other quicker bloke like Boone or something like that.
Yeah. Now speaking of survival tactics, so one of her other comments was, why didn't they make polar bear jerky and solve their meat problem?
That's not easy.
Well,
the bear just drove away again.
But Sawyer killed one of them when they were first
shot it. Yes.
Yeah. Now, I thought that I read once upon a time, and I can't remember where I read this, that polar bear meat is poisonous to humans. Do you know anything about that?
Might be. They are poisonous when they are alive, well, that is, they are beasts. But I haven't really read anything about the meat being... But it might be because they are having some other chemicals inside there in order to keep themselves warm.
Antifreeze or something in their veins.
The problem is with polar bears is that they are up north in the Arctic, not in the Antarctic. So this one is actually drifting on the wrong side of the equator as well. So he might be double poisoning.
Yeah, well, that's definitely been one of the things that people are speculating about. Why are there polar bears on a desert island? So, The last thing that Granny's Got Game said was that when watching the episode with Claire's diary, where Charlie was reading it, that she thought that Claire's handwriting was backwards. And so my question to Granny, because I think you and I talked about this offline, but I don't remember if I mentioned it. I'm watching most of these on DVD, but there's been a couple episodes that I had to watch on YouTube because I didn't have my DVD with me.
Okay.
And so what I noticed people doing is taking these episodes illegally and digitizing them and then uploading them to YouTube so you can watch the whole thing. And in order to get around copyright protection, it seems like they are mirroring the screen. So all the signs and writing that I saw in those 2 episodes was backwards.
Okay, yes. Otherwise, Claire is from down under. I mean, she's upside down. It could be the reason, couldn't it?
Yeah, but I don't think Claire's handwriting is naturally backwards. That probably...
No, she's naturally backwards, but that's something else.
Okay, and then the last thing I wanted to bring up. So Thungon actually left a lot of really good comments and discussion.
He's into it.
But one thing, I think we covered most of it, though. So the one thing I did want to answer was we are planning to, at present, continue with doing either 2 or 3 show episodes per podcast episode.
Yep.
Into future seasons.
It is debated.
Yep. And I think we will probably do one show which is just a season recap, like the whole season.
Yeah.
and he has watched. I think he said he's rewatched up to episode 4. So season 4. So he's speeding away ahead of us. But
Bye bye.
but he's enjoying it nonetheless. So thank you all, and if anyone else has commented since we recorded before this airs, we'll try to catch you next time.
Yeah, that's also a good reason to have a season recap.
Yeah,
we can then quickly get the last of the comments for that season.
Yes. Okay. Would you like me to tell you about numbers?
Yes, please. Have you seen it?
Okay. So, actually, before we start, last week you said that you had your favorite episode and your least favorite episode and a okay episode sandwiched in between. Yeah. That's how I feel about this week.
Okay, I suppose you liked the first one. That's okay.
Yes, Numbers is one of my favorites. And Deus Ex Machina is my... Oh, actually, Deus Ex Machina was fine. I do like that one. But the last one, Do No Harm, is probably my least favorite so far.
It's way down there on the list.
Yeah. So, okay. Let's start with Numbers. Here's what the liner notes say in my DVD set. Michael begins building a new raft. He tells Jack that the chances of them being found while they're on the raft will be increased if they can send out a distress signal. With the transceiver needing batteries, Hurley remembers Saeed mentioning that the French woman had batteries. He suggests that they try and find her. While searching for Rousseau's lair, Hurley discovers that the island may be linked to a secret from his own past.
Well, that was a recap that wasn't much to do with it. Well,
so this is a Hurley episode.
Yep. Finally. Both you and me, right?
Yeah.
We have been waiting for this. And I did re-watch that episode before and watched Hurley on TV. But even if I noted that that Hurley was on TV, I wouldn't say it's significant for the show or anything.
Well, you wouldn't know why, but...
No, and I wouldn't bother.
Oh, see, I got really excited because I was like... like I said, every time there's a flashback, I'm listening to the characters, but I'm watching the background for any other characters to make little cameos.
Yes, okay. Well, I can understand it, but it doesn't really enhance the entertainment. Not that much, does it? Perhaps if you rewatch it, yes. But for me, the first timer, no.
Yeah, to me it was. Oh, why? Wait, why is he on TV? Is he somehow famous?
Well, he was.
Because his past is mysterious. He's sort of a nobody, and yet somehow he's on TV in Korea. That's weird. So.
Yeah.
Okay, so where do you want to start?
Well, since it's Hurley, we have always suspected him for being a bit cautious. Or I should say I've always suspected him from being cautious. And now I know why. Mm-hmm. The guy is a living jinx.
He thinks he is.
Jinx. He is the bad luck personified. Wherever he goes, everyone else dies.
But he continues being lucky.
Oh, yes.
Well, everyone else is unlucky around him.
He's worth $15 million back home.
But
it's only about money. He's not happy.
No. His first instinct when he won the lottery by using the numbers to do a lottery ticket. And these numbers are what appeared on Rousseau's map. 4, 8, 15, 16, 30.
23, 42.
Yeah,
42 is totally good.
I should know those by now. And his first instinct is to get his mother and his grandfather comfortable and pay them back for all they've done for him over his life.
Yes, and the first thing this grandfather does when he hears this is die. That was awesome. Actually, I was just, what? I had to back up. What happened to the guy? Yeah, he died. It's not like he just had a heart attack or something, right?
Yeah. It was just the shock of everything going on. It felt at that point it still felt plausible.
Okay. Yeah. Well, and then he did several things.
Yeah, one thing that I thought was interesting, we find out that Hurley's actually the majority stakeholder in the box company that
Yeah,
Locke
that
worked
was
for.
also.
Yeah.
We are not totally sure because it's not named yet, but it has to be,
Oh yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's in
It's so fun.
Texas, and
Yeah, it's everything fits.
so Hurley almost is Locke's boss to some degree.
Yeah, sort of.
And we also found out that Hurley was in a mental hospital or a psychiatric
Yes, and that's where
facility.
he got hold of the numbers. And the numbers came from another patient who had heard them through radio, right?
Yeah, like I
He was
read
a
it.
soldier or something that was doing the radio work, and he was scanning the Pacific and he got these numbers.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a lot of actual, I don't know if you know too much about it, but real life lore around mysterious radio
Oh,
signals and
yes. We have the whole Bermuda Triangle. Damn
yep.
you. That's that's so many things going on around the Pacific. So it's because it's a wasteland. It's actually a wasteland, even if it's water.
And it was interesting because Hurley was in the psychiatric hospital before he learned about the numbers,
Yes.
which started all these events. He
Yes.
feels like the numbers brought him to the island.
Yes.
And do you think so? Do you think that he has brought bad luck on the island,
Well,
or
that's we need to go backwards now. Because the reason he's so cautious is because he doesn't want anyone else to. First of all, he's the reason. He thinks he's the reason the plane went down. Of course. But how come all of the others survived?
yeah?
He should be alone, actually, and that's really bothering him.
Because we still see that, or we do see that Walt owes, no, Hurley owes Walt money,
Yeah.
which to me would make me think that the tables have turned, that now Hurley's losing the money, and so therefore, like his clean slate is that the bad luck is gone.
Ah, good one, mate. Good one.
And he doesn't say it, and I think that's partly why he's panicking when the numbers turn up, like he had a
Yes.
temporary lapse, and now it's going to try to catch up to him and cause him more trouble.
And they didn't. It was only the
Well,
explanation
not
because
yet.
he went not. Let's get back to Hurley's
Yep.
doing on the island. When he
Yep.
learns of the batteries at Danielle's, he reads the numbers on Danielle's old paper. And suddenly he's not going for the batteries. He's going out there into the woods to get Danielle to tell him about the numbers.
Yeah, that was a nice ulterior motive.
Yes, and as soon as it's about the numbers, everything is going caca for all the other guys because the bridge is going down and stuff. So as long as it's about the numbers, it's not going well. Up to this point, it hasn't been about the numbers, so he's been safe. But
My,
he's still cautious. You must agree with me about that because he has been cautious. He's really want people to love him for what he is, not the money, not talking about the numbers, not anything that goes. So he's building golf courses and running with water as much as he can because he wants to be friend.
yeah, he
Because he knows what happens if he's getting into his other character, the one with the numbers. He
and
doesn't like it. So everything fits up to this point.
yeah, and he hasn't. I don't think there have been any past scenes where he has been afraid of the numbers.
Nope.
Like I
It
think
doesn't have to.
so. I think he up until this episode, he was in a place where he wouldn't mind staying. He might be hesitant to go back to the normal world.
Yes.
I think.
Yes. And now that you say it, when they are playing backgammon, him and Walt, you're one lucky dude, Early says. Not like, wow, man, am I envious of you? No. You're one lucky. He's just making it a fact. He's stating the fact that Walt is one lucky dude. That's it.
Yeah, it's interesting because so Hurley believes, and he believes the numbers are cursed, or using the
Yes.
numbers. We also see a flashback to Australia where he, is trying to track down the person who gave it to him that committed suicide.
Yes.
And my favorite moment of this episode is when Hurley finally talks to Danielle, and she agrees with him. She believes that the numbers are cursed.
Yes.
And he just says, "Thank you." Like someone finally believes in me. It's not all in my head. I'm not crazy. Exactly. It really is the numbers. And I saw him visibly relax.
Yeah. He's a very good actor in that case.
Yeah, that was my favorite scene. That little emotional beat.
Well, just before that, he was actually getting angry because there she was threatening him with a gun, and he was so tired of being threatened all over the place. All I want is some answers. He was. Well, that's the most angry we're all going to see Hurley, I suppose. It's not much, but he was tired of being pushed around.
Yeah,
and I really like his display of anger.
Now I had two sort of tangential thoughts, and one I had right at the beginning of this episode was, couldn't they make a battery? Because I thought when I was a kid I made a battery out of salt water, pennies, and aluminum, all of which they should have from the wreckage and the ocean.
But then there are a lot of transmitters. There's a lot of things like resistance and stuff inside these technology, and you need at least 9 volts for most things to work. And I don't think you can get, even from a potato, you don't get more than 1 volt, something like that.
Okay.
I'm not totally sure. I'm not into it. But please, if anyone knows anything about this, put it in the comments. We would love to know, couldn't they have made real batteries and drive the plane home again?
Yeah.
Sort of.
And the other thing is, there was a ARG, an alternate reality game called The Lost Experience, which kind of occurred between seasons. I think I consider it canon, but if you were only watching the show, you wouldn't know this. But in there, they kind of explain a bit more about the numbers. They talk about this thing called the Valin equation.
Yeah.
And this is an equation from some probably made-up guy who basically says that there's a formula, a mathematic formula, that you can predict exactly how and when the world will end. If you plug in the numbers, and these are the numbers, these are the constant numbers that you plug into the equation.
Might be so.
So that's kind of, and now in the course of the game, you don't know if that's true or not. That's just some crazy guy. But there is sort of an explanation, if you choose to believe, of why are these numbers special? Because I
don't see anything about them. There are 2 things with the numbers. First of all, what was the flight number again?
815.
And you don't see that inside the...
Well, isn't it 4, 8, 15?
8, 15, 815.
Yeah.
And then, second of all, when they mention them on my DVD copy, they are doing it in groups of 3. 2 groups of 3. 4-8-15, 16-23-42. If you're going to have lore, you're welcome.
I don't know what that is. That's interesting.
No, but that is what the translator have done.
Huh.
I suspect. Or is it something that they have had?
Interesting. I don't know about that. Is that more of potential, what do you call those, GPS coordinates?
Might be. I don't know. I don't do GPS. I'm doing my brain. No, but I know of what we call 3 freestand numbers. We are always doing in them in 3s in the military. So in military, we are always using them 3 by 3.
Huh.
So that could be the reason that they have done that in the translation. I didn't hear them mention the numbers that way. But when we see them, they are one at a side, because we are seeing them at the end as well.
Yeah, and I could have sworn, again, my if anything, this rewatch has taught me that my mental timeline of what happens is all screwed up, because I could have swore they found these numbers on an object before we got to this point. Like, this wasn't the first time you saw the numbers.
Okay.
But it actually is. So
Could have been, because we are so far into the series now that everything is actually going to be added together. Now they know what they are going for. Now they know the last episode from probably. They have already started written a couple of episodes plots a bit further forward. So they know what they can bring back and forward now.
Yeah, well, we do see the numbers near the end of one of these 3 episodes. Stamped onto something. Was it in this episode or was it in the next one?
Yes, it was in this episode. It was on. I thought it was on the hatch that Boone and Locke was doing work on.
Yep. Yeah, that's exactly right. The numbers are stamped into the cement of the hatch, or metal of the hatch, I should say. Yeah. And I guess the only other thing we could mention is the numbers are what the transmission of the numbers are what drew Rousseau's boat and crew to the island. So she blames the numbers for bringing her here, and as you said, Hurley somehow blames these numbers for crashing the plane. So what else? Anything else in this one?
You think there wasn't anything else? Let's see. I'm not totally sure what it says about Sun. Sun knows that she has. Well, never mind. Oh, she has lost her husband. Yeah, we know that. And then Claire is helping Locke.
Yeah, well, I would say Locke is winning over Claire by helping her and being very kind to her all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And Jin and Mike, so Jin and Michael seem now to become a married couple or buds, and they're building the raft together. Like, Jin wants to get off this island now. Which is kind of, as you said, like away from Sun, you could assume.
Let's see. Then it's Claire's birthday. She's got the crib.
I did think it was kind of funny. She thought he was making some kind of animal trap.
Yeah, but that's what they see in him, don't they?
Yeah.
He hasn't even bothered to wash his face for the whole thing. So why not? And then Locke says he believes in many things. Well, now he does.
Yeah.
Let's see. And there is one moment more. Mm-hmm. Jack, Sayid, and Charlie is following Hurley out in the woods to track down Danielle. And let's see. Jack and Sayid get caught on the other side of the bridge. Charlie is on his side, but they are separated later on. So it's only Hurley who is talking to Danielle. And then everyone is going everywhere, and suddenly just Hurley shows up from nowhere. And where have you been and all that? And he says, well, what's about Danielle? Well, she says, hey.
Yeah.
Like, cool. And Jack is okay with that. He doesn't even bother. He doesn't even ask. Sayid, on the other hand, he knows better. But Jack, well, okay, she says, hey, right.
Yeah, Hurley's...
It was so... I mean, if I were Jack or Sayid or Charlie even, I mean, what did the woman do? What did she do? She's a crazy woman. Where are your marks, man? Nope. She says, hey.
Yeah, he comes off as like, you guys wasted your time following me. I told you it'd be fine. Chill out. Like, he's just so cool and collected.
I love that one.
Yeah.
Well, it's a very good episode, I must say. And it was finally time for him.
Yes. Yeah. This is where he becomes one of my favorite.
Well, he has been all the way. And now we have his background. So now we are going to sit there and look for 4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42. And the numbers are going to be there. But 8, 15? Nope, not really. So, are we finished with that numbers? Yep. I think we are going to get back to that episode a couple of times. But
yep.
the next ones.
Yep. So season 1, episode 19, Deus Ex Machina, which basically means like a plot device that comes out of nowhere to save the day.
Okay.
I always thought it meant Ghost in the Machine, but
Yeah, but it could
I
be.
don't think it does. Now, anyway, this one is Locke and Boone attempt to open up the hatch using their latest invention. Back at the camp, Sawyer is suffering from headaches and asks Jack for his medical opinion on what might be causing them. While in the jungle, Boone and Locke make a surprise discovery, which has tragic consequences for one of them. This is Locke's flashback.
Half of it.
Yes.
Just because the things we see cannot be the final one. Should we start there?
Sure,
Should we
yeah.
start with the flashback?
Yeah.
According to what we learn is that Locke is he's been adopted, and he says, no, I've been transported between foster homes all my youth.
Mm-hmm.
A woman shows up, and she says that she is his mother.
I think she is.
Yeah, she is. She totally is. Because they need well, we'll get back to that later on, because I've already forgotten if it was a kidney or whatever it was.
Kidney, yep.
Thank you. And somehow that leads Locke to his father, who is a rich guy, who then has a default. He has a kidney that is not working, and he needs a transplantation of a kidney, and it has to be kin, of course. Mm-hmm. So that's why they are trying to get him. To me, it was totally obvious, but to Locke, it was, my father wants to go hunting with me and stuff.
So I'm gonna spoil something. So Locke's dad basically does this long con to get a kidney from Locke, a kidney transplant, and then shuts him out.
Yeah. That's why I say it can't end at that point. Locke is not that kind of person that is revengeful at any moment. So far, we haven't seen it. But he still has both his legs. That hasn't happened yet.
Well, it's safe to say that everybody's going to get multiple flashbacks.
Yeah, but this is a part of the story that is connected.
Yes.
I don't think we see. I think we're going to see both his father and his mother again. Well, sure. Obviously, but to me, this is obvious that this is only half of, or even a third of the story. Because what I feel is, how do you get this? First of all, he's got his first feeling about hunting.
Mm-hmm.
Locke hasn't been hunting before that, as far as we know. And he's learned a lot, and he's even a good shot. He can shoot down a bird. I wouldn't do that, and that's good. Now, if he is interested in guns and knives and stuff, that would explain why he is so good with knives and stuff on the island.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But we need to see that before we can confirm that it's a way of getting back on his father. That's why he's good with knives and can kill boars. And then he has, we have a lot of stuff, as you say, to deal with each and every individual, except for Claire, I suppose. We should be pretty much finished with her and Shannon.
So you are you saying that you knew this episode would end with Locke getting betrayed by this guy?
It was obvious.
Huh, okay. I mean, I thought it was weird, like how they suddenly so quickly got to this point of trusting each other and hanging out and stuff.
Yeah, that was awkward, but it worked.
But I didn't see it coming, and so here maybe you can help me understand, because I still don't understand, why would Locke's dad go through all that trouble? He got what he wanted, and he has this guy he can hang out with. Why did he shut him out? I don't understand what he gains from shutting him out. Wouldn't he want to keep him around for future purposes?
Oh, well, yeah, but no, because Locke is actually the one who is going to inherit Cooper. If he acknowledges him further, he is going to get everything. And believe me, this guy is healthy rich. And he doesn't want that, because he had already from the beginning said that he'd want nothing to do with his son. And now he needed one part of his son. So the kidney is actually already in place.
I don't know. I just can't imagine.
Wealth does
Well,
wonderful things to people.
I
And,
mean, but see, now it crosses a line then from almost into despising his son because he's intention. So he got rid of him. Probably back then, I assume he just didn't want to deal with this lady and a kid and be tied down. Right?
yeah,
But now that he's formed a relationship, he gets so close to him,
does he?
and well, he play acts.
Yeah. What we
They're
need to
holding.
know in order to be totally sure about this is if he loves his son, which he doesn't do, he would have some sort of hesitation to do it, but he hasn't.
I don't
And
know.
as you say, it goes fast from shooting a bird to suddenly laying there in the hospital beds. It went very quick.
Yeah, and I can imagine him using a person, but I don't know. It just seemed like I just don't understand what he gets out of cutting him off. He could have eased out of it. Like, this guy obviously uses people. I
Yeah.
would think he would keep using Locke because now Locke is even more tied to him and will do things for him. I don't
Well, I
understand.
agree. I agree with you, but
So
no, the way he started it, it was too smooth. It was
yeah,
too much butter on the sandwich. It was not the proper amount. You see, well, me being a socialist has to do something to do with it. Of course, I'm suspecting anyone who is having more money than me. They are suspicious, even you, mate.
well,
But still, it's my perspective is always that the guys are trying to use us in the first place. If you don't, but you're right in one thing. If we are taking the Cooper's place, me myself would have bought the guy. I would have not go through all that trouble about finding some son
yeah.
relative thing or encourage him to be my son for a while or something like that. I wouldn't have done that. I've bought the guy. I said that some sort of miracle. You are some sort of person that could help me with this. I will give you money, 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 money. You can have whatever you want, and please help me restore my kidney. I mean that's also nice. I mean, Locke needs money.
Yeah, I don't know. I just it seems like
Too much work for that little piece.
exact yeah. Or how did he research Locke to know that would be his reaction? Like,
Might be.
I don't know. But so
Locke
so
is a bit of a too nice a person.
so I don't remember if you said this before, but as I'm watching this, I'm thinking to myself, okay, so Locke has daddy issues.
Yeah.
He's looking for acceptance from some father figure. Does he now equate the island with his dad? Like, he's pleasing the island. He's going to do what the island wants because the way that his flashback happens in this episode, I got this feeling like he is now substituting this island for his father.
Ooh, that's deep, man.
Yeah, like the way they paste this.
No, 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 no. Well, I'm not going into that because I didn't get that feeling, and it's because there are some pieces missing between not getting into that place with his beetle and to the island. There are a lot of things missing. First of all, we need to remove some hair on Locke,
Yeah,
but that's not the point. The thing is, there's a lot of things with Locke we don't understand, and we haven't seen the last of Cooper either. I'm totally convinced of that. The lady, however, she was just into it for money because she's always wanted it, and that's also rather strange when you think of it from your perspective, because the woman that is his mother has always been able to get money out of the father without even bringing the kid up.
yeah. Why did he need?
Why does he
Why
help
does he
her
keep?
all the time?
Yeah, why does he keep her around but not Locke? That's
That's also now that's bothering me.
yeah. So we'll have to watch and find out.
Yeah,
But
that's only half the flashback. I'm telling you.
oh, I think yeah. maybe not even like you said. There's definitely more. There's Helen. I don't think her name was Helen, was it?
Nope.
Oh no, he wouldn't be. He wouldn't be imagining calling his mom.
No,
Never
no.
mind. Never mind.
No.
So
That
so
one.
so on the island. So we kind of this flashback was kind of woven through a bunch of stuff that
Yeah.
is.
But it's not connected to the actions on the island.
Well, that okay. So but that's why I thought. Okay, all of the flashbacks so far have occurred when the character needs to think about their past to
Yeah.
learn about the current. That's why I was thinking John is like equating the island with his dad in some way, and
Well,
and having the
one in
same kind
one
of
way, yes, he's following what the island says.
yeah. So he on the island somehow gets well. Basically, they try to make a trebuchet. He and Boone.
Yep.
It it shatters. It doesn't break the hatch open, and he gets injured in his leg. And we find out that like he can't really feel pain,
Nope.
which I totally forgot all of this happened. By the way,
Yeah. And to me, that was totally okay. That was obvious.
yeah, like
He isn't healthy. He
yeah.
can walk. Yeah, that's it. That's what he got. He didn't get anything else. He's not healthy. His legs are still bad somewhere else. But on the island, he can walk.
Well, and it seems like he's not sure if it's a good thing or a bad thing. So he can
No.
walk, but he can't feel pain,
Nope.
which could be a problem if he gets injured, he wouldn't know it, just like what happened.
Yep.
So he has a bad dream. He gets a sign from the
Yes,
island,
the
basically.
beechcraft, the yellow beechcraft falling from the skies.
And basically they follow he and Boone follow his sign, and yeah, they find a plane.
And on their way, Locke is actually getting his legs are getting more and more useless. He's
Yeah.
falling a lot. The island is actually trying to stop him from getting to the beechcraft. He is reading it totally wrong. He's reading it that the island is telling him to go to the beechcraft. That was totally wrong.
So, because I have these two questions for you, and do you think is the island not wanting him to open the hatch?
That's okay. Whenever the island wants him to open the hatch, he will get there. No problems. As long as he's just keeping himself to the island, to the hatch, it's okay. But if he starts wandering about. Now, Boone, on the other hand, the island might not really like Boone,
Yeah. So is the island
trying to separate them.
trying to get Boone to be the one to climb up, and that's why
Yeah.
it was holding Locke back.
Yes.
So
And of course.
it wants Locke to have the plane, but it doesn't want Locke to be the one to find it.
Yeah, but the plane it doesn't contain much. It
Well,
was a dead not priest outside of it, and it was some drugs inside of it, but that's what's all.
well, but who did Locke just get off the drugs? And maybe the island wants well, two things. So one, now Locke also has a gun.
Yep.
And two, he has more drugs which he can use to corrupt Charlie
Yeah,
or
but
something.
it doesn't. Yeah, but no.
Well, I mean, if the
But that's
island
all-
gives him the
but-
drugs, his natural thought might be, and this is just me speculating, like, wait, why is the island giving me drugs? Oh, Charlie, maybe the island wants Charlie to have drugs.
Oh dear, now we are getting a bit of complicated here because it's just the same complicated thought that's behind Cooper's thinking about his kidney. I mean, if Locke wanted to get rid, or should we say, if the island wanted Locke to get rid of all the 46 passengers or whatever, he could have easily have done that just hiding himself in the jungle. He doesn't need to do all that collaborative thing doing with drugs and stuff. He can just lure people out and kill them.
Well,
That's what Ethan did, and Ethan was even better at it.
or did the island crash the plane over the cliff with Boone in it because it wanted to stop Boone, or did it want to stop them from using the radio to talk to whoever was on the other end of the radio? Because
That's more likely, because if there's something that the island doesn't want is more people getting to the island at the same time. It has enough to deal with as it is. Now that is, of course, if the groups on the island is not connected to the island. Now it's getting complicated that way as well.
yeah, so Boone climbed up into the plane. Locke is laying on the ground with the hurt
Yep.
legs. He hears the radio
Yep.
going, and then Boone says, "We're the survivors of Flight 815."
Yeah.
And then the person on the radio, I listened to this about 4 or 5 times. I should have turned subtitles on, but I didn't think to do that. It sounded like they said they were surprised and said, "We are the survivors of Flight 815."
I need to check that one out, but no. They wanted to have his coordinates. They wanted to have his place where he's. Because I had subtitles on it. That was not on my subtitles, I can tell
Okay.
you that much.
I definitely heard them say something survivors of 815, and I couldn't tell what the first word was. It was covered in some sounds.
Now, that would be neat because that means that Boone's radio message is actually going in a loop, a time loop, and that would be awesome.
Oh, like the whole island is just stuck in time or something?
Yeah, right. Doctor Who is going to save them all. Yeah.
Oh, I was just thinking that like somebody that like maybe on the raft, Michael got the radio to work
Yeah.
and happened to be because what's his name, Hurley got the batteries, so maybe they're talking to each other. I don't know.
Well, why not? But we didn't get anything about that.
Not yet. No.
But my main question from this total episode is actually why did they want, or why should they find the Beechcraft? Why should they find this aircraft? And we should also mention that this Beechcraft was it was downed way back, like at least 2 years ago.
I got like I don't know. I guess there was nothing to really indicate it, but I got like a 70s vibe from it, sort
Yeah,
of
me too.
like the
Not the aircraft, I hope, because it's still in use, that type. That
Yeah.
type is one of the best aircraft you can use wherever it's a bit of a tough spot to land on.
no, just the whole thought of like taking drugs from
Yeah.
South America flying to US. It's probably not South America, but anyway,
No, from
the
Asia,
whole-
but still, it is. I also got that. And dress up like some sort of Catholic priest or whatever it was
Yeah.
supposed to be. I mean, that's also some, yeah, I don't know, Terence Hill, Bud Spencer movie.
It reminded me also of this movie, Romancing the Stone. Did you ever see
Yeah,
that movie?
yeah. It's like that.
Anyway,
Has nothing to do with anything ever, and so on.
so there was one other thing in the plane that I have to ask. So there was a bunch of Nigerian money. How the heck
Yeah.
does Locke recognize and know what Nigerian money looks like?
Yeah, that's true. But if it says the country of Nigeria on it,
Yeah, true.
and they are probably using English as they are an old colony from Britain, I suppose. So I suppose their money is saying in English. That could be, but it was quick. He recognized it immediately.
Yeah. So
Some sort of. And Nigeria is in Africa. We are nowhere near Africa, I can tell you that much. We are on the
Yeah.
other side of Africa, even.
yeah,
If we are anywhere.
that's true. I mean, because the Beechcraft has a limited range, I would guess.
Yep. It's a
But-
short range.
So who knows if it was coming from Africa? I was thinking South America. Either way, it doesn't make sense to be here. And
No.
I think to me, so with Locke's episode, or with his flashbacks, and Hurley's flashbacks, like at this point I'm strongly leaning towards supernatural stuff, not just like we talked about Claire's episode with the psychic
Yeah.
and scientific explanation, but some of the stuff that happened here, like him seeing the plane in a vision, I just don't see any scientific explanation for.
No, there isn't actually, and I'm still going with that. It's the island that is making him do this, and we're not
Yeah.
totally sure if there isn't any physical alteration on John Locke. We don't know
Right.
that.
Yeah, because I thought the first time I thought that it was not punishing him, but it was like telling him he was going down the wrong path. Now I think it was actually trying to manipulate them to find this plane, but it just didn't want Locke to be the one to get in there and hear
Nope.
the radio transmission, basically.
Now there is one more thing we need to. Well, to Sawyer needs glasses, but that was just fun.
That was fun, yeah.
Yeah, Boone doesn't survive the episode.
Well, he gets injured, and I think at the end Locke is finally able to walk and carry him away from the plane.
That's true. Yes, that's true. In this episode, he survives, but
Yeah.
in the next one, he doesn't.
Well, there is one other thing though, is that in this episode, Locke drops Boone off at the caves with Jack
Yep.
and then disappears.
Yeah.
And then at the end, oh, go ahead.
Yeah, at the end.
We-
Locke is back at the hatch
Yeah, and a light goes on in there,
and tells him that he's done the right thing. The island is talking to him again.
which I thought for sure that scene of that light going on was the very final scene of the finale.
I
would have bet-
that's way back.
I would have of the finale that we haven't watched 4 episodes
Exactly.
from now.
I mean, it's
Yeah, so like I said, my timeline is all messed up, but I could have swore that was how the finale ends: is that the light goes on,
yeah.
and then you're like, "What?"
I was laughing like mad.
Oh?
Let there be light. I was thinking like God is talking to him. God being the island. Oh, let there be light.
Yeah.
And he was really surprised.
Yeah, yeah,
But he didn't see anything.
yeah. I mean, I don't understand. Well, I guess he dropped Boone off and left because he needed to get back and get reassured by the island, and
Yeah.
it's now more important to him than any of these other people.
Yes. And it has nothing to do with his flashback. You
Well-
say it has.
well, that's-
But you don't get the feeling of it's connecting. So that's why I say the flashback is only half of it.
Well, that's why I think my brain is trying to connect them because it
Well, good
does
luck.
feel that they're
Not yet.
so okay. So let's go on to the next one.
Yes.
then.
Do no harm.
Locke leaves the seriously injured Boone at the caves, forcing Jack to take heroic measures to save Boone's life. Unaware that her brother's life hangs by a thread, Shannon spends the night on the beach with Saeed. As their relationship evolves, Boone's condition worsens. Jack's abilities are further put to the test as Claire goes into an unexpected labor.
Yeah.
Now, I only have 4 sentences because
Well, I got 6. So it's not very engaging episode, is it?
no, like
Let's-
stuff happens and it's surprising, but I felt like it was dragging to me.
First of all, the flashbacks is about Jack the hero.
And this is my least favorite. Well, second to least favorite flashback ever. Like
Yeah.
this whole thing that he saves some lady's life, which is fine. He's a doctor, and then she falls in love with him, and they get married. Like,
Yeah,
I
well,
was
that's
like,
fine as well. There are paperbacks. I mean,
I don't know anybody that falls in love with their doctor
well, I wouldn't. You
Or
should
the-
see her.
or their
Well,
patient.
that's not the point. No, he shouldn't be. He shouldn't.
I don't know. So
Now,
yeah.
her name is Sarah.
Yes.
And they are going to get married. Jack and Sarah is going to get married, and Jack is actually having some cold feet. And he's blaming it on the thing that he can't write the vows for the marriage. Now, I get a big feeling about he hasn't got any love for Sarah either. He's not in love with Sarah.
I can't tell. I really can't tell because it didn't seem like he was trying to get out of it. He was going to go through with it. He just couldn't come up with the words. And then, I don't know, what he came up with didn't seem appropriate.
No, it didn't.
Actually, what she said, like, I'm sorry, but if you have to keep saying that you healed me and that's why I love you, then that's not love.
No.
He was doing his job.
Yeah.
So
You should love him for something else than just doing his job.
Exactly.
Then, well, there are a lot of heroes out there, but this is the other side of the coin of being a hero. Suddenly, Jack is not a good hero. He's never been. I've told you that from the first episode. He's not a good hero. He is the hero, but he's not a good one.
Well, he's the reluctant hero, right?
Yep, he doesn't like it.
I mean, when he takes charge, he does good.
Well, he shouldn't have his brain inside it as well. But every time he's going to start to think, it's go too far. And of course, we need a hero. Of course, there's always a hero over the place. So one needs to be there, and he is the one. Yeah. But now we are seeing the other side of the coin. And let me say it again, as I said with the other episode, we don't get the whole flashback this time.
Well,
is he married or is he not married?
Right. You mean on the island?
Did he say yes?
No, I think they did get married, right? I think they both said their vows and then they kissed, I think. I wasn't really paying that close attention. No, I think they got married, but somehow it didn't last till the island.
Well, there is a gap, isn't there?
Of course.
That gap could mean something, but it had nothing to do with what was going on the island again.
Well, this one, so it had to have happened before he got in the situation with his dad.
Yep.
And I guess I actually, you know what? I really can't tell you how it relates to what's happening on the island.
On the island, he needs to be a hero again and save 2 lives at the same time.
Well, but he knows he can't, and he consciously says, "I have to stay with Boone," and basically says someone else is going to have to help Claire. So if he was trying to be the hero, I think it showed leadership that he made a hard decision.
Yep.
And if he was just trying to be the hero, he would have rushed off to save the lady, and then Boone would have died. I think. Yeah, I don't know how that relates to the flashback, honestly.
Not much.
But
Not much.
I did notice at one point, Jack yells at Son and he says, "Don't tell me what I can't do."
Here we go again.
Which everybody's using that line.
Yep,
that's interesting.
I love it. I like it.
So
it's a good one. But the problem is he's trying to overdo his heroism, because even Son is actually seeing that Boone is not going to make it, she tries to stop him. They are trying to cut his one arm or a leg.
Leg, yeah.
Yeah. Just to save him from what? He's totally bleeding inside internally. He's crushed. And still, Jack doesn't acknowledge the fact that he's not going to make it. I mean, he should have been seeing that coming far back. It has nothing to do with Sarah, but it's still his hero. Everyone is calling him a hero, so he needs to be that hero.
So
that's the only connection I can get.
Well, I think I have some questions other than trying to tie it. So it won't surprise you if I say I forgot that Boone died in this manner. I completely forgot that he died at all. So did Boone get a clean slate, a fresh start? Like, did he get what everyone else tried to get from the
back
island?
To tabula rasa again, yeah. Well, he did sort of. He did get one clean slate, and that's Shannon. He's getting it out. He's getting his way with the fact that he loved Shannon, and he doesn't.
Now he's
Not the
fallen in
same
love with
way.
Locke.
No, he's just doing stuff on another basis.
Yeah.
But he is trying to get some sort of message to Shannon.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like if this is the end of his story, which he died, so I guess it is.
Wow. Well, we never know what
I
the eye.
don't. I can't remember why he left the show. If this was part of the story, or if the actor left, or whatever. But do you feel like he was murdered by?
Ooh, the
Because
last
Jack.
question.
Yeah, Jack said
Jack,
he was
Jack, yes,
murdered.
Jack thinks that no, I don't think because we were there when Boone got his injuries.
Yeah. Do you? I don't think so either. But to Jack's perspective, he thinks Locke is definitely
Yes,
suspicious now.
yes.
And do you
There is
think
nothing he can prove.
so? Do you think that I didn't think of this before we started recording, but we talked about the island wanted Boone to be in the plane and get hurt. Was that a distraction? Put all of this happened to get Boone in Jack's way, so Jack couldn't be there when Claire has the baby.
No.
Because the baby seems to come out fine. So
Yep. One dies, one lives. So they are exactly
yeah.
the same amount. But there's none other pregnant, so no one else should die. But that's not really working either.
Yeah, other people died and they didn't add life. But
No.
yeah, I thought about should that be some theory like Boone is reincarnated as this baby, but no, I don't think
No.
they're related. I think it's
Nope. There's nothing like that. But I can see why Jack is actually watching Locke because Locke is still not there. Locke is not showing his face on the whole episode. Boone is going to die without Locke being there. He doesn't go there asking about him. And we should also know that Boone told Jack what they have found, that they have found this hatch, that they have found this airplane.
yeah.
Boone tells Jack that. So Jack has that knowledge. Jack and son, we should say. They have this knowledge. And with that in mind, why haven't Locke told him, Jack, the hero, about the hatch and the plane beforehand? He just walks back out in the forest again. In
Yeah,
the jungle.
so maybe the island is forcing this event in order to bring the existence of the hatch into everybody's mind or awareness. I don't know. I don't see.
It could have been made easier.
Yeah, no, that feels like a stretch, but I'm
Yeah.
just trying to think through. I mean, he was shown the plane, I don't know, like this episode, the whole thing with Sarah and then spending the whole time trying to save Boone just for him to die kind of
But
was
there is one good thing about this episode, because while Sun is actually the Korean lady is actually helping Jack with Boone,
yeah.
who's dying, Jin, the Korean guy, is actually helping Claire
Yep.
with the birth. And that was really fun because I really liked Jin's behavior at this spot. He's actually knowing what to do. That guy can easily bring out some babies. That's no problem.
Well,
And I was actually enjoying that.
yeah, when he finds out that she's about to give birth, it's like, wait, this is improper. I'm looking at a woman.
Yeah.
And he looks away. Like, yeah, I definitely. And then when the baby starts crying and is alive, his face is beaming with joy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that was.
That's international language if I ever saw one.
Yep.
So no problems with speech barriers or something. Everyone is enjoying himself, and at the same time, Sun is actually being equally hard. While he's soft, Jin is soft with the baby, Sun is equally hard with Boone and Jack. So suddenly they have changed roles. Sun being the soft one before and Jin being the hard one. Suddenly in one episode, they're totally doing the opposite roles. I was really enjoying that.
Yeah, that's actually probably the most positive thing to come out of this is their characters, their reaction, their growth through their reaction to this situation.
Yeah.
We did have Saeed and Shannon completely out of the way, out of the picture.
Yep.
They just snuggle all night and come back to the bad news of Boone.
Yep.
I don't really know what else to say about that, but obviously she'll be upset.
Well, I didn't buy that, but okay.
Well, I mean, it's her one connection to the real world. You know, it was her stepbrother that she had a relationship with. She'll be upset, I'm sure.
All right.
So,
right. But you can also, if I'm reading Shannon right, Shannon is actually thinking like this. Okay, for once I was happy. Of course, Boone is going to destroy that too. Me. I.
okay.
It didn't say so, and she did share a tear or two, absolutely. But for whom? For
Okay.
herself or for Boone?
We'll have
Because she
to.
has been acting like a jerk all the time,
Yeah.
and if she's going to stay in character, she's going to think, I was having a fun, I was happy, and now it's destroyed because of Boone. Why should he destroy that too? So typical Boone.
Well,
Well, we'll see.
well, do you think she would say because of Locke, and Locke is the one who's responsible for him
Jack,
dying?
yeah, well, that's a wild twist. Jack
'Cause,
is going to go around telling people to stay away from Locke,
I mean,
and
and
then
just
Shannon is going to connect that to two dots.
well, in 3 episodes ago, Locke was the one who told her, like,
Yeah.
Boone you're just doing what he wants, break away from him.
Mm.
So I don't know.
But that means that she has brain cells. I'm not totally convinced yet. No.
I mean, I'm not saying that was any sort of premonition, but if I was in her shoes, exactly what you said, there's, the steps of grief, including anger. Would she get angry at Locke? Like, hey, he tried to get me away from Boone just a couple days ago, and now this happened. So,
You're onto something. Perhaps you have seen this show before.
honestly, I have not even thought about Shannon. I forgot all this even happened. So this is
Yes.
this is pure honest
You don't
speculation.
even know the order of events.
No, I'm lost.
You're lost.
I have one more question, which is not anything that happened in this episode, but when I was watching the wedding scene, it looked like maybe they were getting married in Australia, Jack and Sarah. I mean, in
Didn't get that
Hawaii.
feeling myself.
Never
with
mind.
Sunny something. Yes.
I'm completely dumb. I was saying Australia, but I was thinking of Hawaii because it was filmed in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Never
But
mind.
it be Florida or Southern California or anything, I suppose.
So here's where my thought was. My thought was that they were married in Australia, and after Jack, tells on his dad, I was asking myself, why did Jack's dad go to Australia? What's in Australia that would make him go there and get drunk? And I somehow thought it had to do with the wedding,
You mean
but
like that? Well,
but
if
it
so,
doesn't.
I hope we'll get to know that because this flashback has only half of it, and I think it's a cruel way for the writers of the show to make sure that we are going to stay on, but it's also a very good way of getting more puzzle pieces every time, because we are going to get more of Jack, of course. And Sarah, hopefully we're getting rid of... we're getting more of Sarah. We should probably get rid of her as well.
Yeah. Well, next time we're going to cover 2 episodes.
Yes, in order to get ourselves the numbers correct.
We're going to do 21 and 22, which are The Greater Good and Born to Run. I remember what Born to Run is.
Sounds like Sawyer.
Okay. I think it's Kate because there were several times with the marshal where he talking about she was run.
We haven't had that boring person in a while, so why not?
And the greater good, I really have no idea unless it's something about Locke and Jack clashing and deciding, the greater good, like some choice about saving the people on the island, sacrificing one. I'm not 100% sure, but
yeah.
so we're gonna do only two episodes,
Yep.
and then the 2 episodes from now of our show we'll do Exodus, which is a multi-part finale.
Yeah.
And then we'll talk about what we're gonna do for season 2, because I'm having a great time.
Me too.
I love this recording schedule. I love talking about this. I'm thinking of things I didn't, and I'm enjoying your reaction so much. But man, I want to watch them all in one night.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
stretching them out is so hard.
Yes, but we are having lives as well. You know that.
Yeah.
I mean, by Nugget and all.
Yeah. We're sort of in between the binge watchers and in between the actual show, which was only 1 episode per week. Can you imagine how much anticipation? At least we get 3 or 2.
Yes, that's our little comfort, I suppose.
So, okay.
Well, we are having a good time.
Yes, and I hope you guys are enjoying it again. You can.
And by the way, Ron is always on to me about it's him talking more than me in these episodes. I'm not agreeing with him. If you have anything to say out in the comments, please do. We are doing it 50-50. That's my feeling.
Yeah, just to clarify, it's not me wanting to be the one talking. I'm afraid I'm talking too much and not giving him enough.
Yes, that's
room.
what we start with in nearly every episode, and then we start recording. So you now you have heard it. It's out in the open. We have opened our closets. Oh dear.
So from now on, I will just talk as much as I do.
Absolutely, because you're the host, aren't you? You've seen this before, and you have more questions than me. I only come up with like one question every time.
Well, now I'm coming up with all these questions of like that I want to ask you, and then it makes me actually think of something I didn't think of before, and so on and so forth.
So that's how it is. But I'm good at talking as well.
Yeah, just a quick note too. I started re-listening to a podcast that's still going on. It's a Lost rewatch with Jay and Jack.
Okay.
They were actually my favorite Lost podcast back when I was watching it the first time.
Yeah.
And they're doing a rewatch. They're, I think, on season like 3 or 4. And they had some guests on that talked about theories that I had never even thought of before and never heard before. And man, I wish I could talk to you about them. But I just wanted to give them a quick shout out, because if you've already watched the whole series and you think you're waiting for us to catch up to future seasons, look up Jay and Jack. It's an audio only podcast.
Good enough.
They're a lot of fun. It's a father and son duo.
Okay.
They have a lot of fun making fun of each other while they talk about Lost. So, and they're doing a podcast of a show I'm watching currently called The Leftovers.
Okay.
Which is by pretty much the same creators of Lost. And
I've seen the trailer.
Man, it's deep characters, crazy mysteries, and questions that don't get answered. Just like Lost.
They are at 2nd season on that show, aren't they?
Yes, like it's I highly recommend it while you're waiting for us.
And for those of you who's not inside the Netflix system or something, it's HBO. We can just as well give you that.
Yeah,
as well, because in Sweden that is important to know.
Oh yeah, sorry. I mean, in this day and age, I just figure anything you want to watch, just go to YouTube and somebody will have uploaded it.
That's true. That is true.
Anyway.
That's it for us, I suppose.
Yeah. Next up, The Greater Good and Born to Run.
See you back then.
Bye.